This is the rise and fall of Fernando Torres. A striker with ice in his veins, lightning in his legs, and a smile that made defenders nervous before the match had even kicked off. He carried the hopes of clubs, countries and millions of fans, but his career reminds us how fragile footballing brilliance can be. Known simply as El Niño, the kid, Fernando wasn't supposed to rise so fast. But at Atletico Madrid, he didn't just break into the first team, he transformed it. He scored on his debut at just 17 years old. Atletico was struggling, financially and competitively, but Torres stood tall. Quick off the mark, deadly one-on-one, and fearless in front of goal. He became the symbol of hope for a sleeping giant. By 19, he became Atletico's youngest ever captain, as they returned to Spanish football's top division. The club were inconsistent, but Torres was their beacon of hope, and the fans loved him as one of their own. But after 5 seasons in La Liga, it was time for a change, and Europe came calling. And it was Liverpool who signed Torres. Defenders didn't know what was coming, but they soon found out, and the Premier League fell in love. In his first season, the pressure was enormous, but he was on fire, lightning pace, quick feet, and 33 goals, the perfect blend of power and elegance. He became the Cop's golden child, and on the international stage at Euro 2008, Torres scored the winner in the final against Germany, ending Spain's 44-year drought. He wasn't just El Niño, he was world-class. But greatness is fragile, and Torres was pushing his body to its limits, and it was beginning to break down. Muscle tears, repeated operations, every comeback was slower, every sprint was less explosive, and Liverpool's decline added more pressure on Fernando to perform. Then came the moment that changed everything. Carlo Ancelotti's Chelsea bid £40 million for the striker. It was rejected by Liverpool, but Torres handed in a transfer request the next day. He felt the club's ambition had vanished. After the sale of key players like Xabi Alonso and Javier Mascherano, Chelsea came back with a bigger offer, triggering his £50 million release clause, and Torres signed for Chelsea on deadline day. In the 4 days following his transfer, Torres sold 9 times more shirts than the rest of the Chelsea squad combined. Demand was 40% higher than when he arrived at Anfield, and he would end 2011 as the Premier League's second highest shirt seller, behind Wayne Rooney. A new identity, a new chapter, and even more pressure. The player who terrified defenders at Anfield didn't arrive at Stamford Bridge. He was slower, the razor sharpness was gone, and the goals dried up. It took Torres 14 games to score his first goal for the club, the longest drought of his life. It was the only goal he scored for them that season. His confidence was low. The record transfer fee and weight of expectation hung over him like a dark cloud. The once fearless Torres was now a shadow of his former self. But he still had his moments. His goal against Barcelona in the Champions League semi-final has gone down in history, as Chelsea went on to win the competition in 2012. He won the European Championships for a second time, coming on as a late substitute to score as Spain thrashed Italy 4-0 in the final. The goal and assist he provided for Juan Mata in the final won him the Golden Boot as the tournament's top scorer. More silverware followed when he scored in another major final the following season as Chelsea won back-to-back European trophies. It wasn't prime Torres, but it was enough to remind the world who he once was. Torres won medals at Chelsea, but he failed to replicate his once prolific scoring record in London, and there wasn't too many groans coming from Stamford Bridge when he departed the club after 3.5 seasons. A short stop in Milan brought little success, but in 2015, the prodigal son returned home to Madrid, re-signing for Atletico, back to the place where the fans had never stopped chanting his name. He wasn't the same player, but he didn't need to be. This chapter was about closure, about gratitude, about the kid who grew up and came home. He won the Europa League in his final season with his beloved hometown club and scored 2 goals in his last ever match for Atletico just 4 days later, the fairy tale ending everyone had hoped for. Fernando Torres' story isn't a tale of perfection, it's a tale of emotion, meteoric highs and heartbreaking lows. Few players made fans feel the way Torres did, the speed, the joy and the fragility. El Niño rose faster than almost anyone and fell harder than most players, but his legacy, unforgettable.